never worked together before. Well, he's a cranky old man.
It's like sex. Everybody does it the same way.
Okay, all right. He tells me I can't do it wrong.
On December 20th, the equine community and the American Farriers Association lost a beloved member. Eddie Watson was a mentor, clinician, and treasured friend to many. The entire AFA extends its deepest sympathy to the Watson family. As we mourn the loss of Eddie, we too express our gratitude to the Watsons for sharing Eddie's time and talents with the Farrier community. I had the privilege of competing under Eddie's scrutiny. Win or lose, Eddie's honest evaluation of horseshoes benefited everyone, as he always scored the work with the horse in mind first. Eddie always considered the comfort and correct fit of a horseshoe to the horse to be number one. Mr. Watson is best remembered by many for his famous Wednesday night hammerings, which often rang into the early morning hours of the next day. It was not unusual to find Eddie starting to make a pair of nippers at 10 p.m. Eddie's enthusiasm was contagious. It could be felt in everything he did. He was a mentor to many and a stellar leader of the Virginia Horseshoers Association. On behalf of the American Farriers Association, I am pleased to share a few minutes of Eddie's shoe-fitting wisdom from a presentation he gave along with the Anvil 21 Club at the AFA's annual convention in 2004.
You select the kind of shoe you want. In this case, we're going to put one back on him pretty much like the one that come off of him. Because I found out years ago, when you're doing a horse you don't know anything about, you don't go making a whole lot of changes on him. Not if he walked in the shop sound, put him back like he was. But there's a lot of little tricks that you can do that will speed up fitting. In my shoeing box, I have a little tape. I'll measure the width of that foot. I like to take the tape and get right across the widest part of that foot. I'm gonna fit him a little full, so he's 5 1/4 inches. And at the same time you're getting that measurement for the width of the foot, pay attention to where those quarter bends are. Because they ain't in the same place on every foot you shoe. Some of them will be up here halfway to the foot, some of them will be back further to the heel. And if you pay attention to where the quarter bends are, it makes that whole fitting process a whole lot easier. And just mark that width of that shoe on the horn of your anvil. Now, I've seen guys, which is a really good deal. You can take your shoeing knife and measure from the inside of the hook back on the handle, file you a few little notches on there. You know, you start with about 4 1/2 inches, and then you put one every quarter or every 1/2 inch is good enough, right on back to about 5 1/2. That's going to cover most of the feet you shoe. And when you trim the foot, you can take your hoof knife and just hook it over the edge of that foot, and you got a measurement right there. All right, now you already got your marks here, and you get the whole thing done real quick. Nobody even noticed you're doing it. That saves a whole lot of time in fitting a shoe. The main thing in keeping a shoe on a horse is having the proper nail in there, the proper size nail that fits the hole, the head fits the crease, everything fits up. And it'll stay tight until you go back and pull it off. Your clinches and that will set up, everything will be good. And if you back punch a shoe too much, now you've got the hole kind of sloppy. That'll allow everything to start moving, and your shoe will get loose a whole lot quicker. This particular shoe's got a couple of holes that I'm gonna have to clean up a little bit, but we'll be very careful when we do that and don't drive that pretzel too deep, open that hole up too big. Now, I can lay that shoe right there. When you're hot fitting a shoe like this, you wanna go here and just tap that clip. You're not gonna hit it a whole lot and cave it in there, because if you get in trouble, but you wanna get that clip somewhere close to the same angle as that hoof wall. And when you do it right, I don't know how I ever got certified, because I have a hard time doing that. I think they just give me the certification. I'm like, anybody here from Georgia? I heard a guy say one time, it's pretty easy to get that thing's a little rough on the end. It's really easy to get a diploma from University of Georgia. Because all you have to do is drive through Athens with the window down and they'll throw one in. So that's about the way I was with the certification. They got tired looking at me and they said, yeah, they printed it up before I got there. You have to be really careful. You don't want to put a really red hot shoe down on a horse's foot. You could hurt him. Douse it down quick and just knock a little heat out of it and go on to the horse with it. I don't have a center punch here, but usually you'll mark your shoes right and left just so it's just a quick reference. You don't have to worry about what you're doing. To hot fit that thing, I like to get me a Pritzl in the outside heel nail hole. Let's see how close this thing is. Now I find out there that I can tap this clip in just a little bit more. They tell me that you ain't doing something right if you have to make more than 3 trips back to that anvil to fit a shoe. Is that right? Is that 3 or is it, I was thinking, is it 3 or is it 10? I'm not, it might be 10. Don't you love it though when you go over there and you stick it on the foot and hand it to the guy and say, nail it up. Danny's gonna nail it on, so he'll cover up any mistakes I made. That's pretty daggone good, I think. I've got that shoe fit, what I consider to be pretty nice and full. Now, I'm gonna do a little hot rasping on this thing. I'm just gonna box that edge a little bit. Now you can do that with a hammer, knock that edge off. But most of us carry them big old Baldor grinders around with us, and don't be afraid to use them. I'm just going to box that a little bit all the way down to the clip, because if you got a little sharp edge sitting there, you know, he can step on that and pull it right off. It's just safening up everything. I've had a horse pull a shoe off in a tie rack before I finished shoeing him. There's a groom at one of my stables that Brandy worked everywhere we've ever worked. He likes to tease me all the time, telling everybody, why you got that guy that's shoeing a horse? He don't know how to shoe a horse. Well, he come in one of my barns one day and I got the horse there, I'm standing there shoeing the horse. And he said, that shoes ain't gonna stay on that horse. You don't know what you're doing. You know, you just give me a hard time all the time. And of course I'm cussing him, telling him, get the hell out the way. Well, when I finished shoeing the horse, one of the grooms come and snapped a shank on him and led him right straight up to the paddock and turned him out. And that joker wouldn't leave, you know, that boy. He's just giving me a hard time. Well, they left that horse out there in the paddock about 35, 40 minutes, you know. The boy went and got the horse and led him back in. When he come back in the door, he was missing a front shoe. I ain't lived that down yet. Every time I see that boy, he's telling me about what a bad horse you are. Okay. Danny, check that and see if it's anywhere near.
Well, now you check it. You're the doctor.
No, but you're going to nail it on, and I know you wouldn't nail one on that you didn't approve of. Well, I wish I had listened to Bob Davis. He told me one time how to stick a shoe in the water without drawing it up. I'm going to hit that one blow right there. I think that's about how much it drew up. Okay. Bob Davis told me, if you stick that shoe down in the bucket of water with the heels pointing directly north and south, it won't do that. But I don't have a compass with me, and I don't have a clue. All right, nail it on, Danny.